Picture this. Two people, one brand new car, and two completely different decisions. The result? A massive wealth gap that neither of them even saw coming. Today, we're going to run the real numbers on one of the biggest financial debates out there. Should you lease or buy your next car? All right, let's set the scene. Meet Jake and Marcus. They're in the exact same boat. Same job, same income, and they both want the same shiny new $30,000 car. They even go to the same dealership. Everything is identical, except for the one piece of paper they sign. Jake decides to lease. Marcus decides to buy. So, right off the bat, who do you think made the smarter move? On the surface, the answer seems really obvious, but trust me, the long-term math tells a completely different story. Let's break it all down. Now, for the first few years, this whole debate looks like a total landslide. I mean, one of these guys seems to be absolutely cruising financially, while the other looks like he's falling behind. But things aren't always what they seem. Check this out. Right away, Jake's choice looks like genius. His monthly payment is just $299. Meanwhile, Marcus is showing out $522 every single month. That's $223 more. Jake is feeling that extra cash in his pocket, and he is feeling so smart right now. And it's not just the money. For those first 3 years, Jake is living the dream. He's always in a new car, and it's always under a full warranty. If anything goes wrong, it's covered. No stress, no surprise repair bills. It feels predictable, safe, and just plain smart. Okay, so let's do the math. After 3 years, what has Jake actually spent? You take his down payment, you add up all 36 of those monthly payments, and you get this number right here, $12,764. Now, what about Marcus? Let's do the same thing. His down payment plus 36 months of those much higher payments, and he spent $21,792. Wow, the gap is just huge. So let's just be crystal clear. After 3 whole years, Jake has spent over $9,000 less than Marcus. He's got more cash flow, a new car, and 0 worries. I mean, it's a no-brainer, right? Case closed. Jake won. Or did he? Because this is the exact moment the entire script flips. And now we get to what I like to call the great financial flip. This is where we see the fundamental hidden difference between leasing and buying. It's all about what your money is actually doing for you behind the scenes. Think of it like this. At the end of his lease, Jake just steps back onto a financial conveyor belt. He has to start all over with a new lease and a new set of payments. Marcus, though, he's running a race with a clear finish line. The day his loan is paid off, and that car is 100% his. And this whole thing really boils down to one super important financial word: equity. See, every single payment Marcus makes is like buying a brick to build a house. He's slowly owning more and more of an asset. Jake's payments, they're just rent. He's paying to use the car, but he's building 0 ownership. Okay, let's fast forward to the 6-year mark. Jake's finished his second lease, and he's spent over $25,000. Marcus has finished paying off his 5-year loan and spent over $34,000. So just looking at cash out the door, it still looks like Jake is winning. But wait a minute, we're missing one giant, crucial piece of the puzzle. And here it is. After 6 years, Marcus's car, which is now completely paid off, is still worth around $12,000. That's an asset. That's real money he can get if he sells it. It's real value. So now, let's do the real math. Jake has spent over $25,000 and owns nothing. Marcus spent over $34,000, but if you subtract the $12,000 value of the car he now owns, his real cost is only about $22,000. And there it is. The flip is complete. Marcus is now thousands of dollars ahead. But it's not just about the big numbers. We got to talk about the sneaky stuff, the fine print. Because both leasing and buying have their own hidden costs that you absolutely need to know about. So when Jake returns his car, it's judgment day. Did you go over the mileage limit? Bam, that's a penalty. A little scratch on the door or a coffee stain on the seat? Yup, that's a charge. And then they often hit you with something called a disposition fee, which is literally a fee you pay for the privilege of giving their car back. It all adds up, and it can be a nasty surprise. Now let's be fair, it's not all sunshine and roses for Marcus either. His car lost a huge chunk of its value the second he drove it home. That's called depreciation. And once that warranty is up, he's on his own. Every single repair comes out of his pocket. A new transmission can come out of nowhere and cost thousands, and that kind of unpredictability is a real financial burden. Okay, it's time for the final showdown. Let's zoom out one last time to a full decade down the road and see where our two guys really end up. This is the final scoreboard. After 10 years, Jake has just been on that leasing conveyor belt nonstop, spending about $48,000. Marcus, on the other hand, paid his car off years ago and then just paid for maintenance. His total is actually less, around $46,000. And the real kicker? Jake has nothing but receipts to show for it. Marcus still owns a car worth about $5,000. So what's the bottom line? The total wealth gap created by these two choices over just one decade is somewhere between $15,000 and $25,000. Marcus is significantly wealthier simply because he chose to buy and hold. Now imagine that over an entire lifetime of driving. The difference is absolutely staggering. Okay, so what does this all mean for you? Am I saying leasing is always 100% a bad idea? Not necessarily, but it does mean you need to be really, really honest with yourself about why you're doing it and if you fit into a very specific category. Look, there are a few exceptions where it can make sense. If you use the car for a business, you might be able to write it off. If you're driving a super high-end luxury car where a simple repair costs a fortune, leasing keeps you under warranty. And then there's the big one people talk about. What if you invest the savings? Well, if you religiously invest that $223 every single month without fail, you might come out ahead. But let's be honest, that takes some serious discipline. But for the vast majority of us, driving normal cars to work and back, the math is crystal clear. Buying and holding is the smartest path to building wealth. The real trap isn't leasing itself. The trap is making a $30,000 decision by focusing only on that low monthly payment and missing the bigger picture. So the next time you're at a dealership and they're flashing that shiny low monthly number in your face, I want you to just pause for a second. Ignore the monthly payment and ask yourself this one simple, powerful question. Because when it comes to your financial future, this is truly the only number that matters.